Aaron, how's Jazz?
Just saw him right now. He's in concussion protocol, so we'll kind of see how he's doing tomorrow as well.
Has he been diagnosed with a concussion,
No,
or he's just in the protocol?
no, he's just in the protocol.
In talking to him, I'm not sure if you had the opportunity to talk with Dominguez. Did he call the ball there in that situation, or
I'm
what
not
happened?
sure exactly what happened. Obviously, we're playing the infield in, so it's a little bit in that no man's land. I think JD called it late. I don't know if he didn't hear. I haven't gone there with Jazz yet.
Understanding you don't know what it's going to look like in the way of a time frame, but just some of the injuries you're sustaining lately, to have one more to a very important player, just how brutal is that for this team?
Yeah, obviously, certainly not something we want. Hopefully, it is not too bad. And then as the week unfolds, we start getting some guys back in the mix. But it's part of it. We got to handle it, and guys got to step up.
Casey Mize, 7 scoreless, just one hit off the end of the bat of Spencer Jones, 10 strikeouts. Just what made him so effective?
Yeah, he's throwing the ball well. Obviously, we saw him last week, and we're able to get to him a little bit. But obviously got a big lead tonight, and just thought mixed his backdoor slider to our lefties well. The split was good, and then four seam had some life to it. So, we just got, we got to do a better job. Obviously, we've run up against some, tough pitching for sure over these last several days, even going back to the Detroit series. But we gotta get some guys putting a little more pressure and doing our thing offensively.
Made some mistakes defensively again tonight. To what do you attribute the sloppiness of play lately?
Well, really sloppy Thursday night in Fenway. That was sloppy. Tonight, Belly's as good as it gets. It happens. And an on the run throw that I don't think was a terrible throw. Goldie can't quite hang on to it. So, in and around that, did some okay things. So, a couple really good defenders that, didn't complete plays today. But, sloppy's Thursday night in Fenway. That's sloppy.
Brendan and Dave.
What did you see out of Weathers?
I think just mistakes in the heart, maybe a couple pitch selection things, and got hurt even when he, was ahead in the count some too. So, he obviously threw well against them there. They kind of had his number and had a beat on him tonight, and I think just missed some locations with different pitches. And obviously they pressured him a lot early. We don't make a play behind him, and then that ends up leading to a big inning.
Another 0 for 4 for Rice tonight. Just what are you seeing from him?
Yeah,
in the recent stretch.
Yeah, and tonight I thought got some pitches to hit. A couple of fastballs looked like he got in the heart that he fouled off that he normally does real damage with. So just a little off there. The last one up with the four seam, probably just a little in between two seam, four seam, and they beat him to the spot a little bit, but going through it a little bit right now. And, he's an outstanding hitter. He'll pull through this, but just, missing when he gets some opportunities. And I thought he had a couple maybe fastballs there tonight to do something with and fouled them off, or, hit a ball well to left on the backdoor slider. But just a little off right now.
Dave.
Aaron, I think it's 14 unearned runs over the past 5 games. How hard is it to win when you guys aren't kind of giving yourselves a chance?
When you're not and when you're not scoring, obviously it's been, 4 or 5 games where we haven't put a lot on the board. You got to play clean baseball, and we got to do a better job of that. Obviously we got some guys down and a little out of position maybe, so that factors in. But we got to, especially when we're not swinging it like we're going to typically, you got to take care of the ball, and we haven't done a good enough job of that.
Brendan.
Do you think the 5 early runs off Weathers took the air out of you guys a little bit?
In a lot of ways, I thought, first of all, the bullpen did a really good job coming in and managing it and holding them down. We put together a little late rally to at least put some pressure on them. So I thought the guys kept playing, which was good. Obviously getting behind the 8 ball a little bit there early, doesn't feel great, but you got to keep going, and we gotta get some things snowballing offensively for ourselves. Tough when you get behind the eight ball like we did tonight, and a good pitcher can go on the attack, but we got to do a better job there.
Anyone else? Joel?
When you were playing well initially when Judge was out, a lot of the weight was being carried by guys like Rice and Bellinger, who are both kind of struggling now. Do you think guys ultimately feel weight when so much falls to them when there are guys out of the lineup?
I don't think so. I think it's a snapshot in time, and I think in Belly's case, go back to the Fenway series. He's hitting the ball in the screws tonight. Tonight, not so much, but in the Boston series, I felt like he just wasn't getting rewarded. So obviously, they're critical guys to our offense, and especially with some key guys out, those are kind of our pillar guys. So going through it right now, and we got to pick it up in and around them.
Jason, scary play with Jazz there earlier in the game. Just take me through from your perspective what happened on that play.
It was really unfortunate. I mean, they were playing infield in, so as soon as they hit the ball, in my mind, just I gotta go catch the ball. I call it, but obviously I don't call it louder enough. But really unfortunate what happened.
But what did you say to him when you were out there on the field? You were huddled over him the majority of the time.
I was trying to make sure he was okay, but it was the impact was recent. After the game, I go check on him, but I don't got any details.
Jason, are you okay after you hit the wall pretty hard later in the game? You were down in the warning track.
Yeah, I just my elbow kind of get into my belly. I was just out of breath, but I'm okay.
Do you feel like you guys are feeling extra pressure at the plate with a lot of the key guys injured right now?
I mean, I think this is baseball. Those bad streaks happen. I think we just gotta keep going. Pass the page and come back tomorrow and try to do our best.
When it goes on for a little while, like it has for you guys, just kind of struggling to score runs, just do you keep the same approach? Do you change your approach at all? How do you kind of work through it personally?
I mean, personally, I just try to, put my work in every day, try to, find a way to help this team to win, to get on base and all that. But like I said before, I mean, this is baseball, and these are things that happen during the year.
What was Mize doing tonight that kept you guys to just one hit in 7 innings?
I mean, he was throwing the ball well. He's a really good pitcher. I mean, he was making some pitches, and credit to him that he threw the ball well.
Ryan, why do you think you struggled to get outs tonight?
They just strung together some good swings. I was 0-2, 1-2 on almost every batter, and just didn't have good two-strike execution.
Did you feel like their approach was any different than last time?
I think they were definitely sitting a little bit more soft down later in the counts. Definitely could have backed up the fastball a little bit more. And, just gave up a lot of singles back to back to back, and, just couldn't really stop the bleeding.
What's the feeling like in here? 4 games in Boston tonight. Just how are you guys feeling?
Good. We're 1 game back of Tampa. We're in the end of June. There's a lot of baseball left to play. This is every single team in Big League Baseball is the best at this sport. There's no bad Big League Baseball team, and we're going to start playing better, and we're going to win some more ball games. I mean, every team goes through a little rough patch, so we're going to start winning some more ball games.
Gives you the confidence that this team's going to bounce back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, every team goes through a rough patch, whether it's hitting, pitching, it could be both at times, and it feels never ending. But when you sit back and look at it, it's 5 games. There's 162 games. We're at 83 ball games. There's still plenty of baseball to play.
How hard is it to see the same team 5 days later?
I honestly, it wasn't hard. It was more just poor execution on my part. I got to 2 strikes. Honestly, got to 2 strikes better than I did at Detroit, and just couldn't put them away.
Okay, were you surprised that they sent Dingler there in that situation in the 4th?
Was that the one in the gap?
Yeah.
I think they sent a few. No, I wasn't surprised. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I think that was the ball in the gap, and it was the right move to cut it off and throw it to second. If that's the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just overall, what do you make of what this team is going through right now?
Yeah, obviously, today was a bad one. No sugarcoating that one. So, myself included, just obviously dropping that ball and, did nothing at the plate today. So, tomorrow, school ball on the mound, gotta come out and perform.
You mentioned the drop ball, just kind of what happened there. Take me through it.
Yeah, I had a beat on it. I got to the wall and I think I just squeezed the glove too early. I'm not really sure. I haven't rewatched it yet, but obviously it's a ball that has to be caught.
14 runs in the last 5 games. What's going on offensively for this team?
Yeah, definitely. We got to be better. There's no really excuses. I need to be better, and tough guy on the mound tomorrow. But we got a lot of talent in this room. We can do this.
Cody, why do you think you haven't been able to find consistency over the last week offensively?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of missing a few pitches and then, hitting some balls in the gloves, and it's just kind of one of those things right now. And ultimately, I got to be better, and I can minimize those mistakes. So I just gonna keep on going and keep on doing it and continue to stick to my plan.
As a team, you guys were very quiet at the plate, just one hit through 7 against Mize. Do you feel like guys are trying to do too much, yourself included?
It's just kind of a bad one today. I don't really have many other words to say other than the fact that we just gotta, myself, we just gotta come out with a little more energy and continue to play.
Did you feel like at the 5 early runs, there was kind of air taken out of you guys?
Honestly, during the game, generally felt like we still had a chance. We've came back from 5 before, plenty of times, and just a bad one today.
And how concerning was it when you saw Jazz go through what he went through?
Yeah, it looks like he kind of got smoked there. I haven't watched it yet, but hope he's doing good. I haven't seen him yet, so obviously get probably an update tomorrow on it.